The champ is on the mic. Struggles ongoing, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward. No matter what I face, I rise. His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray. Help me say every day that I wake, I will praise you. Every breath that I take, Lord, I will praise you. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Struggles are going, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward. No matter what I face, I rise. His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray. Help me say every day I'm alive. I will praise you every way while I can. I will praise you. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you with me? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. I owe my life to you. I rest upon your word.
That's right.
Your joy alone, my strength. I'm right on track. In you I have my peace, the rock that never fails. I pour my love on you. I know you're in control. I'm singing and dancing and praising, moving, 'cause my Lord is good. Rejoicing, progressing. I'm shouting, God is good. Hey, I'm standing under the rock. Hey, I know my God's in control. I hail, 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 I hail. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. This is my daily motion. It's guidance gives me higher. This is my daily motion. It's guidance gives me forward. This is my daily motion. It's guidance gives me higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I am going higher. My daily motion. I'm moving forward. My daily motion. I'm going higher. Good evening, Daily Motion family. How are you? Happy Saturday! You are very welcome. I am your girl. I am Dr. Olayemi Champion Odushola, and I'm very excited. I have to calm myself down for this show because this show is going to be a horse show. But I'm trying to calm myself down for this. This is a Daily Motion Haven of Love. It is where we come together as people of faith and we talk real issues without the facade and without any judgment. And to have a very, very needed conversation with me today are the realest people that you can ever imagine. And I'm going to be very quick to bring them in. I'm going to be very quick to introduce them, and they're going to say a word of introduction for themselves, their names, just let us get to know them a little bit, what they like, what they don't like, their pet peeves and stuff like that, and we'll go from there.
But I want to tell you that even as we are having this needed conversation, because this is a lifestyle and a relationship forum, we're not forgetting that there are more serious things that are happening in life. We still remember Ukraine and what is going on in Ukraine. And we remember everything that is going on in our society that is making life a little bit harder for the underprivileged to survive. I mean, I would love to hear your gas station stories today, because I have one gas station story and one grocery shop story. I almost came back home, but I would love to hear those stories as well, because we understand that real life is happening. But at the same time, this topic we had it from last year, and it was a balance brought over from 2021, and so we're gonna have to have this conversation. I want you to be as real as you can be today. In this forum today, the best person that we learn from is going to win very good seats to the Elevation Worship that is happening in Chicago on April 26th. Elevation Worship is coming to Chicago. I'm super excited about that. And we have two very, very center and front seats rows to give away to people who participate, and the Holy Spirit say we should give them. Unfortunately, you have to live in Chicago for that to happen. All right. I'm not going to talk too much because I want to bring my guests into the studio today. However, it is still Women's History Month. This whole March is still our month. Us women, Abby. Everybody celebrated International Women's Day and all of that. And some people were actually jealous of us about the International Women's Day. They were jealous. They were saying, there is no International Men's Day and stuff. But thankfully to the archives, the people that are able to dig into it, they say, there is International Men's Day. International Men's Day is November 19 every year. I don't know why it is not recognized. But another day that happens to fall on that day is the World Toilet Day. So the men are sharing... The men are sharing World Toilet Day, the day that we used to celebrate. But I do not accept that. We are going to have to actually raise a petition to remove the World Toilet Day from Men's Day, because our men, they are okay. They are not close to toilet at all. So I think we as a Daily Motion family, I think we should do that. I am loving that the engagement is already on fire. I cannot wait. Let us bring our guest into the studio shortly after I say a few shout outs. The shout outs are going to be few tonight, but the comments are going to be pulled in because we want the comments to be a part of it. But we want to have a very good conversation in the time that we have so that we can touch this topic appropriately. Dr. Femi is here. Ayo is here. Auntie Fumi is here. Hi, Auntie Mina Aldu. How are you? Mayo is in the house. She's not going to be fired. No. Hello, Pastor E. How are you? Uncle Femi. Uncle Femi said that he has to sell his ticket because he knows that he already has a ticket for Elevation, but he knows that he's going to be the winner of this contribution. So he said he's going to have a ticket to sell. Hi, Fumitoshe. How are you? It's nice to see you. Kiki is in the house. Hi, Kiki. How are you? I'm going to be playing with my display of my messages today. I'm so sorry. And the reason is because I have a full panel and we'll figure out the best way to put this and let you see everything everybody is saying. If Amy is contesting that they are trying to contest the International Women's Day and all of that, Auntie Fumi is laughing at me. I think we're ready to go. It's 7:09. Daily Motion family, without further ado, can you please, with a loud emoji, a loud clapping of your hands, let me send mine, because I have to send mine before the guests can come in, because if we don't send it, they won't come in. So I want to make sure that they are inside this house. Where is your emoji? If I don't see the emoji, I'm not going to send it. Please. Oh, and I'm so sorry if you're looking. Oh yeah, I see the emoji. Yes, emojis are coming. I sent mine as well, and all this clapping is coming. Very good. Thank you so much. My guests are here. They are the bravest of hearts, the strongest of souls. They are very brave, these people. It's not anybody you can get to come and be talking this type of talk. Because a lot of us, we are too holy for God. So on the commercial now, I told the people, I say, so you know some people, they will see the commercial for this show, they will not be able to come. So I told them, I said, please, if you are holier than the God that designed sex, find your friend's computer and join incognito so that we don't know it's you. Because even God, I'm sure when he had the idea of sex within marriage, he was like, my people, I got something for you. You will see. You too, you will find out. The God, our Father that made us, designed this, and it should not be a topic that is out of bounds. Daily Motion fam, welcome our guests. Please say wave to your fans. Wave to your fans are here. I tell you, thank you so much for being here. Today is not a day of too much talking, but today is a day of too much talking. So I am not allowed to talk too much. So I would love to introduce my panel to you, and I will make it short and succinct. Mr. Adetoro has been in my life. You please welcome Dayo Adetoro to Daily Motion for the very first time. I want to give you a special. He has been very good to me because all my children that are in his house, he has not returned them, even though sometimes they behave like they should be returned. But he used God and my own to think about them. One wrote a memo. How do you say that in English? I'm not sure. He think mine along with their body. Mr. Adetoro, I knew I wanted on this conversation because he's somebody that is able to express himself very, very well without any facade and without any judgment. And I really knew that I needed his voice on this matter. Y'all, my boyfriend has not been here in a long time. I'm sorry, the numbers of my boyfriends have changed. But that's another matter for another day. Because before I only had 3. But now I have exchanged some for younger people because some of my boyfriends turn 50. And I say, when somebody's boyfriend has already turned 50, do you understand? One needs younger people again because one cannot have a mature husband and a mature boyfriend. So I'm in the process of revamping the boyfriendship. But original position of this boyfriend was a boyfriend number 3. But his position will soon change and I will update you guys. My boyfriend number 3 is in the house. He has also been managing people for me in his house. He did not return them. Please help me greet him. Help me thank him. Because sometimes those people, they need to be returned. Omotayo Odeyemi is in the house. We celebrate you. Temi Beats is in the house, y'all. And you know what? Sometimes I go to Temi Beats, the Instagram, to get encouragement for myself. When I want to encourage myself in the Lord, in some of these matters that we are talking about, I will go and read some of our Friday night stories. I say, okay, maybe me too, I should bath. They say they bath. I say, maybe me too, I should bath. Maybe it will even encourage me. But Temi Beats, this is the first time she is back on Daily Motion as Dr. Feyi Shogoleye. So apart from the thing we are talking about, I even want us to clap for the doctor first.
Thank you.
Feyi has never been one to hold back, I tell you, and we're going to have a fun conversation today. At home with Toyi is here. At home with Toyi, you are very welcome. If you're Belamo,
Thank you. We do it all.
We do it all. All things doing, Yes. So all things doing is at home with Toyi. At home with Toyi is going to pretend that she's a jealous person or a shy person, But she's not jealous of anybody and she's not shy. Because when it comes to these matters, she handles it. So that's why she's here. She's our boss on this panel. But she will be acting as if she's a Jesus, assistant Jesus, or assistant Holy Spirit. Today, Toya, I want you to be your real self. Don't worry. God is already watching. Thank you. DM fam. I did not forget you. I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much. Some people are already threatening you guys. All right, I told you I was going to play with this, so let me play with it. This is where it's going to be. Yes. Perfect. 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 So, somebody said, these guests better be careful because I'm just saying you. It's because of your type that we are here. It's because of your type. I'm not going to say more than that. Mr. Editor, Auntie Fumi said that you should please be gentle because she's watching and she knows that she has property in your hands. But she's watching you. Oh. My joy girl is saying that me and my boyfriend, God will help us. I think it's only the help of God that I need. The mayor said, why is she not on this show? She was asking earlier. I saw that. Mayor, because this show is part 1. The part 2 is coming. That's why you are not on this show. You are going to come in the part 2 of this show. To be very frank, this is a multi-part show, and 1 hour is not going to do us justice for sure. We have another part coming up, and it's going to be part 2, and it says it's a question and answer session with a sex therapist. So today we just want to highlight what our problems are from a feminine and a male perspective, and just generally what we're dealing with. So I'll allow my guests to introduce themselves, say something about yourself so that the Daily Motion fam can get to know you, who you are, if you belong to a family, and what you like and what you don't like. Mr. Adetoro, you're on.
Oh, there you are, Adetoro from Houston, Texas.
And what don't you like? What is one of your pet peeves? What do people do that piss you off, if I can speak French?
Being hypocrite, I guess.
Being hypocrite. Ah, yeah, Jesus. This is my this. I think I will have to. Okay, I know what I'll do. I'll only show them in the other view. All right. Being hypocrite. Omotayo Odeyemi, go ahead. Please introduce yourself.
Omotayo Odeyemi from
heaven,
Texas.
From heaven. I'm gonna have so much fun today. Tell us a pet peeve of yours.
I love adventures. I love sightseeing. I love traveling. I love meeting people. I love chatting with people. And I always want to be real. I hate fake people. I just want to be yourself, and I want to be myself. Let me do me.
And you do you. Go ahead, Doc. You're on.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Daily Motion family. My name is Dr. Fee Fumigule, Chicago-based, mom of 2, nurse, business owner, all of those above, trying to run everything all at the same time. My pet peeve is people who don't share information readily, especially when they have it.
Aha, that's a good pet peeve. That's a good pet peeve. All right, Atowi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Oluwatoyin Ogunbayo. I am a mom of 3 beautiful girls. I am a nurse as well, and I do all things home, and that's what I do on the side. My pet peeve is inconsiderate people, because that kind of like flows into so many things. You need to be considerate of others. So that's my thing. You have to be considerate.
I love it. Thank you so much. It is now almost 7:20, and so that we can have a full conversation about this, I'll introduce our topic very briefly. Yep. The chats are so on fire tonight. Mayor said that, all right, I'm going to use Mayor's, we're going to be on this screen for most of our talk, just the way the messages are being displayed, and I want the messages to be a part of this. So give me a few seconds to fix that, and then we'll get ready for the conversation. So the reason we're having this conversation for me is because as a believer and as a person of faith, I have been to several conferences where they would raise this issue that, they would say something like, a couple, they have not been sexually active and they're married, and it's about 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks will go by and there will be nothing happening. And every time that is said, I hear a lot of grumbling and murmuring. And everybody's like, oh my God, why? And then some people will say something like, oh, that means that's roommates. Oh, they are just roommates. But when I look around, I'm like, but some of the people that are even making the faces, even me myself, I know that they have not smelled anything for like 1 month. So I said, why are you pretending to try to appear as if it is happening for you? We're all in this boat together. Sometimes it's a rainy season, sometimes it's a dry season. So I mean, and the reason that it irks me so is because when people actually do now have a problem, they won't be able to speak out, because once you have already said then they know that they're already abnormal. So that's why our pastors are not sleeping, because they will be going to tell the pastor a different story, that what is causing the fight. They will not be able to say what is causing the fight is the this thing that we are talking about. You understand? The cocoa of the matter is, so I always wanted to make this an open and, a very, very, pure conversation about how it can be better for all of us. Not just males, not just females, but how it can be better for all of us. So the first question I am going to ask, and Daily Motion fam, now that as I'm asking our guests, I'm also asking you. I made it a catchy topic for a reason. Marriage without sex. Is this even possible? Do we even think that this is possible? I said, I go and sit down somewhere. Sex again? What is this? Go and sit down somewhere. We already know your history. Just like God the Father, the works of your hands are in full display for the world to see. So you cannot come and be. You cannot come and be. All right. So let's answer the question. I'm gonna start from Mr. Aditoro. Can you kindly? Do you think this is even a possibility? Is this something that can happen? Can it exist? And the reason I'm asking this question is I want us to steer clear of not being able to be sexually active because there is a medical condition, because that's totally another thing. And we're going to deal with that in part 2. If maybe the woman is not able to be aroused, or if the man is not able to have an erection, those are medical conditions. Or if the woman is ill, or if the man is ill. I'm talking about those are not the issues here, but we are not experiencing a good sex life. Can we cope if there was no sex in marriage? Do you think it's possible? Go ahead, Mr. Aditoro. Tayo, close your mouth. What's happened?
my simplest answer to that it's impossible. It's impossible and it can't happen. It's living in the same house.
God bless you.
Impossible.
You know what this reminded me of? Is that when we gathered to do the pre-production, anytime Mr. Aditoro made a point, Tayo.
Oh, you can't comment to my law like that now. That is a brilliant answer.
So, need I ask Omotayo if this is a possible situation? And DM fam, thank you. Yeah, you mean me? Yes, I mean you.
Oh, you okay? I remember a song by a popular artist in Nigeria. So I just want to go real ras now. Obesere.
Obesere, okay, yes. I know him. He's a gospel artist.
Yeah, gospel artist. No.
Before he became a gospel artist, is what he's talking about.
You said what?
Okay, what does that mean?
Google it.
We should Google it.
Can you can you drive a car without a fuel? Can you fly a jet without a fuel? So, sex is like that to marriage. So it's impossible. Like,
Okay. Even me, I'm clapping for you because sex is a fuel to marriage. That one, please write it down. Please, sex is a fuel to marriage. Where there's nobody can fight that. I'm gonna go to Faye. Faye, go ahead. What do you think? Do you think it is possible to have a successful marriage without sexual activity?
I mean, if you are talking about periods of inactivity within a marriage, I think that is possible. If you're asking me if it is possible to have a marriage where you do not have sex, period, that is not possible.
Okay. At least you do not. You are clapping for me too.
Yes, I'm not lying.
All right.
I mean, there will be times where you might have like a lull, and it doesn't mean you don't have a good marriage. It just means you couldn't fit it in. Something happened, and we're just not having sexual activity right now. We're activating other things.
Okay, for that time. All right.
You are trying.
Toyi Tomati. I told we Toyi. Let us go.
Well, I agree with Faye as well. There is time and season. I know like time and season applies to other things, but in marriage as well, you will have periods where you're not getting it on, And when you are in that season, that's what you do. If you have new kids, a new baby and all of that, job change, you might not be able to get all of that in. Mm-hmm. And, you're not going to go say, we're not doing it anymore. It's just we're not doing it right now. So it is possible to have time and, season when you're not getting it on.
I love that. Thank you. We're going to go to the chat because DM fam is actually active on this issue and they are also saying it. Toyin, somebody wants your shirt. I think you're going to mail it to Texas. They say
you should dress.
Oh, it's a okay. Kabani. Kabani.
Okay.
You got, your dress got pockets. Oh, yeah. I love that. All right. My Joy Girl was saying that, yes, dry season is a big issue. The mayor is answering the question that I think she's saying, nope, we cannot have marriage without sex. And Fumi did not weigh in any way. She just said this is retalk. I'm not sure if this is the answer to the question. Or she just said, sometimes somebody asks a question, you say, I say, is real talk. My Joy Girl also agrees that it is very impossible. Pastor E has taken it spiritually. He said that means that they need to come for healing. Uncle Femi, these gas prices that are high, I'm trying to tie it into.
Tying it into the fuel.
That could be an issue.
The fuel that's.
Then they say the fuel to the car is now the marriage. Okay. I am not around. Okay. So if the fuel for marriage is sex and gas is now high, it means sex is now high. When you come and charge, and you ladies, they say we should be charging.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
It's not today's price. Price went up.
They say we gonna need to be charging. I am on that one because me myself, I was telling you I had grocery money. I went to buy 10 items in the grocery. I'm telling you, I wrote it down because I knew what I wanted. I'm doing my earring, you don't worry about me. By the time I got to the grocery store, they said $303. When I look up, I said $303. I bought 10 things. So, as I was even saying, these things are really expensive. Why is this so expensive now? I said they have not even finished scanning my things. So, with the cost of grocery and gas, you are not lying. So we need to raise the price. Whoever has the upper hand in the home needs to raise the price because it's not always the women. I don't want International Men's Day. So anybody, since you say who's going to charge, whoever has the upper hand, that's it. And it's different for every home. So Do what works for you. My mommy says it is very impossible. Hi, mama. How are you? Hello, mama. All right. All right. I think we're good with this question. I think it's okay to move on to the next thing. I wanted us to talk about just the reasons why within a marriage, sex and the relations within a couple may not be going well. We're having this talk is not because we have all the answers. It's because we want to bring the issues to the table. Now, when we have the part two of this talk, then we may have some answers, especially in the area of illness and what medication can do and what therapy can do and stuff like that. But whenever there is sexual dysfunction, within a relationship, I don't mean sexual dysfunction as an illness, because sexual dysfunction is actually a medical illness. But when the couple are not experiencing together satisfactory sex life, it's usually multifactorial. It means you can't just point to one thing. Sometimes it is because of physical well-being. Physical well-being may be illness, or just physical well-being, body image. Maybe I just don't feel like I am presentable. So those things factor in. Sometimes it's psychological. And when I talk about psychological, it could be actual diagnosis, which may be maybe mental illness, or it could be psychological, meaning just what you have formed your thoughts to be around sexual encounters. Again, the third thing is that it has to do with the quality of a relationship. Most of the time they have found that when the quality of the relationship is good, then sexual interaction between couples is usually good. And another thing that we cannot fail to mention today, and I just want to make that a very solemn addition to the conversation, is it also depends on your experience, the experiences you have had around sex. Not everyone in life has been lucky enough to have pleasant experiences around sex. Some people have been abused either as a child or as an adult. And so for those kind of people, it is hard for them to engage in sex without being reminded of the previous issues that they have had and the previous experiences that they have had. So to anyone that's listening that happens to fall into that category, I want to say, we're not having a general talk and just making light out of the reasons why people are not being sexually fulfilled or satisfied, because that's a real issue. It, however, needs to be addressed within a medical confine, through your primary care physician, through a sex therapist. And if you believe prayers can work for those things, prayer never fails. So I wanted to mention that. As we talk about that, I want us to go to a very sensitive topic. And Daily Motion fam, please, I want you to light up the chats. Most of the time when you listen to a couple who is having trouble in their marriage and it has to do with sex, it is mostly kind of like a demand and supply something. Like somebody is saying that somebody wants it more. Somebody is saying that somebody does not want it as much as the other person. So it's like a supply and demand kind of issue. Do you think that there is a role that culture or religion plays in the mindset that we have, either as males or as females, when it comes to sexual matters? Do you think that there is a role that culture or religion plays in the mindset of individuals, either male or female, when it comes to sexual satisfaction and fulfillment? I'm going to start from Tony, and we're going to go right back up the opposite way that we came before. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm going to speak about culture. Has a lot to do with
Why are
you
you
know
speaking about culture? Shobi, you
sex
want to run away
and
from religion? Why?
no, I'm not running away from religion. I just want to speak on the culture part. Okay, I'm just okay. So this is what I'm going to say about the culture. Um, Growing up, no one said sex was pleasurable. That is not a word that you hear. They tell you don't do it. As soon as they touch you like this, you are getting pregnant. That was what literally. I thought somebody would a boy touch you, not actually, get physical with you. They literally say touch you, but then you form this thought in your mind, all this kind of, and you don't associate sex with pleasure. But then you get married, and then it's like, okay, well, along the way, you kind of pick up cues that it's supposed to be pleasurable, you know. But if we are not telling young girls or age appropriate, I don't know what is appropriate, maybe teenagers, and start to tell them that, I mean, sex is pleasurable, but you have to do it while you're married. You cannot expect women to now all of a sudden expect it to be super pleasurable if they've not. I mean, and then religion says no sex before marriage, so it's kind of like a double whammy. Even though I don't want to talk about the religion part, but it's a double whammy. What do you do at that point? So yes, absolutely, culture and religion affect sex in marriage.
Excellent. Dr. Faye, you go ahead and share your thoughts about that.
I completely agree. And not to belabor the point, but I'll give you a great example. I After Jordan, my mom had come over to spend some time with us to help with Jordan, and she saw one of my short shorts, one of my red booty shorts that I wear in the house, and her comment was, "Ah, Faye, why are you wearing? Why do you have booty shorts? Ibolon wolo?" And I'm like, "Mommy, how do you think Jordan came into play? Like, I'm confused. Like,
Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit.
and even at that point, after I've had the first child, it, to her it was still kind of like, something that we couldn't even talk about. And so if I can't openly talk those issues with my mom, with my family members, of course culture, you know plays a role in it, because then, like Tony inferred, the minute you bring up that topic at any point, you've become labeled as promiscuous.
It's taboo.
um and
Hmm.
that's one thing you don't want to be labeled as, because that's truly not your rationale. I remember growing up reading Mills and Bones, and my parents did not want me to, because there was the, oh, she's going to read some part of it that we don't want her to know about, we don't want her to find out about, we don't want her to. So yeah, there's no way for us as women or as young girls to be able to differentiate between what we should know and how we should build upon that knowledge, so that when we're able to, we can ask for what we need. Like, be confident
Oh yeah,
asking for what we need.
Thank you
yeah.
so much. Omotayo, go ahead, darling.
I I agree with everything they've said so far because uh, I have similar experience. But the only lesson that I I was taught by my dad was when he caught me and he beat the devil, that demon, out of me when I was trying to chase a lady. You know, that was the only sex talk,
Just
sex
toasting.
lesson I had. Yeah,
Just
I
toasting at.
actually wrote a letter.
Ah!
I not even toasting. I wrote a letter. You are the lily in my valley.
Apple
You
of
are
my
the
eye.
honey in my
Top up behind the
and
sugar in my tea.
Yeah, the sugar
the ocean in the river. All those things.
my sugar in the
Uh-huh.
comb.
That was the only lesson. Nobody told me about my body, but changes, your feelings. In fact, what we will learn in biology class is not as deep as, and it's ridiculous, honestly, looking back. And come to faith in church. Churches are doing enough on that because it's like a taboo. We don't want to talk about it. You don't want to preach about it. And guess what? We are learning it elsewhere. Everything I know about sex was taught by friends or in school. I learn along. And by that, we are losing a lot of our youth. We are losing a lot of our children to those
Misguided education.
Information.
exactly. So I think the culture, the faith, uh, our faith leaders, that's the problem, which I see there.
Okay,
We
so
need to do it right now. I mean, and that is also affecting me now. I mean, I cannot possibly sit my kids down and start. I mean, I find I was telling my Ibaluma, when will you start? Ibaluma, let me be out of there. So, you understand? You can.
I'm going to go to Mr. Adetoro so that hello Motalani, Dr. Tade, how are you? I see you. Mr. Adetoro, culture and religion, what part do they play? Do they play a part
So
in this? Go ahead.
yeah, I think they play a huge role in it. So culture-wise, because they've seen something happen as a precedent, they now use it to uh, to wipe the whole generation. For example, if someone is promiscuous, going around the houses and everything, so they now develop a means of circumcising, so that the ladies will not be, and we are much more so that it will not be going around sleeping around. So when the lady that is now circumcised now grow old and now get married now, so they tends to have low libido, and the study shows that they have low libido as compared to their counterpart that are not circumcised because they are more sexually active. Then when you talk about the church, so church in its plan to um, curb immorality, to to stop people sleeping around, what they have put in place actually change the whole dynamics that open people's eyes, because they are telling you don't do this, don't do that. That thing that you are telling people not to do, people will now go and find out more. Why are they asking us not to do this? They now go and explain that this thing is good now. Why are you asking us not to do this? And when you now attend all this, when you attend the marriage class, and by people that are not well, experienced or not well educated in this area, you were taught about what to do, what not to do, be submissive. Women are like a gas cooker. You have to fire them up. You have to start from the morning. You have to start in the morning before you do it at night. That's not realistic, right? And you have to talk about your finances, but nothing is addressed when it comes to the sexual aspect of it. They tell you not to have sex. You can't go to your boyfriend's house. You can't go to your girlfriend's house because that one is it's always forbidden. You only say in church, Sunday and Sunday. You have to give yourself holy hug, right? So you don't hug so that the chest is not touching chest. So all those is been prevented. You don't want but you ask all this question. What do you know about this lady? But they, nobody tell us to ask, how often do you like to have sex? Are you sexually active? We don't ask all this question. You ask the guys, what is your credit rating? What is your ambition? What do you like to be when you grow up? But you don't ask the major aspect of the whole thing that you are getting into. How often do you like to have sex? The cocoa, you don't address that. So you now get involved in this thing. I mean, I can say 75% of mostly African men that that we had this conversation with, it's always the same thing. It's always the same. It's either the wife is saying, why is it Sean Jenny? Why is it? We had it yesterday now. Why is it? And it's not. It becomes inorganic, right? Because we men, we like it to be organic. We like it to be organic. We Tabati you say, we say we want it to respond. But when you are now saying going a different, so when you're now going a different way, but it started affecting us psychologically. That's something that that's something that it's not being addressed. It affects the men psychologically because you've been denied, you've been saying no. Oh, okay, I'm fasting. But I didn't know you didn't tell me you're going to be fasting. You know, so all these
I have not
suggestions
used
here
that one
and there.
before. I have not
So
used that
all
one
these
before.
suggestions here and there now pile up. It can affect men in some ways that we cannot even fathom. And we've seen all this research that addresses the good advantage of having sex. So the question is, why aren't we having sex more?
Hmm.
I look at a research before joining this live show, and it actually says the cure for not having, for not able to have enough, not
For low
having a good sex
libido.
life, for the libido is actually to have more sex. Having more sex will increase your
The
libido.
practice.
But so why are we not going that way? Why
How
are
is
we
it
not
going?
addressing that issue? Why do we keep
How does it
saying,
continue?
no, no, don't do this, don't do that, when we can actually address the main issue? So that's just my submission. I think we need to address it and say,
It,
okay, even in the religion aspect, in the cultural aspect, and like my brother said earlier, we're not taught. It's in our culture that you don't talk about these things. No, I'm sure the women on the panel too. You don't call your child or your daughter and say, hey, this is what you do, this is what you do when you have a no one when the wife is going to get married, the mother don't call them and say, this is how you're supposed to treat your husband. When your husband says come, you can't say no. I don't think that never happened. I don't. Were you told that if your husband asks you that let's go to the upper room, you have to say no? So that is not addressed.
Upper room.
I
They
mean,
said
I'm
it's
sure.
witchcraft.
I'm sure.
In church, they
I'm
said that
sure
one
it's some
is witchcraft to say no.
to say no.
It's
Anyway,
witchcraft.
Yes.
I will rest my case so that I don't drag this too long. I will
In
rest my
fact,
case. So that's just my submission.
in fact, when you say that's your submission, it was the right word for you to use, because this is like a court. You came prepared. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi ṣá Mr. Adétòrò látẹ̀wọ́. I'm telling you, this is your submission. Is so great. I do not want us to forget all the good points that we have made in this addressing the cultural and the religious influence on our sex life. Toyin and Feyi and Tayo, Tayo saying that, I mean, even for writing a love letter, you get beaten. Do you understand? So who's going to tell you anything about that? And for somebody that has already went on one ikunle, how do you say ikunle in English? And it ought to be more somebody that has had one ikunle, one kneeling down. For the mommy to now be asking that she's wearing short knicker, what manner of kini is that? The no education for us and being seen as promiscuous when we are actually interested in the topic of sex, and all the submissions that Mr. Adetoro have made. Thank you so much, panel. This is why Daily Motion fam, can we just show some love for this panel? I mean, right now, because God. This is how I know God loves me, when He makes things work the way they're supposed to work, no matter what I plan. I am so grateful to God for that. Thank you so much. We're gonna go to the chats and we're gonna talk about some of these things and some of the reasons the chat has. It's funny that Tayo said that he's told his wife, when are you going to have the talk? Because I'm not going to be at home that day. It's so funny because Monife edits my videos with me, right? So this week, when it was now this topic for the video, so I now started thinking, how am I going to explain? How am I going to explain this video? So I went to pick her up from school, and I had already done the little part of the video that I do, and it was time for her to do her part. And so I started to talk to her, and I said, this video and the topic for this month is like an adult topic, sort of, but you'll get to understand it a little bit much later. But sometimes for people who are married, they're not able to have sex the way that it is healthy for their marriage. And then I turned to her and I go, this is kind of weird for you to talk to your mom about, right? She said, yes. I said, well, but one of the reasons why we are having those problems now is because nobody ever talked to us about it. So I'm talking to you about it in the healthiest manner, that you should learn about it, not on your own. And and I was explaining to her that we're going to bring because we did not have a chance to talk about it in the real form, then now we're ending up needing a therapist, because she knows that the therapist is going to come on part 2. So I said, now we actually need a therapist, such like we are using mental health therapists. We actually have therapists that deal with this. And she was like, oh, really? Okay. So it's funny how we will broach the topic. It's like we were never taught how to speak these things. How are we going to speak to our children? Anyway, that is mo sha for gboju se sha ni to sele ni mo sha eyinbo wa po eyinbo apo fe gera mi je. I mean, sorry, I was speaking a lot of English. I almost beat myself. I became American immediately. You would think I was teaching a biology class. So that's how I handled that. But it's funny that Tayo said that it's only his wife that will we have that discussion. So Ifemi says absolutely, culture and religion plays a huge role. My Joy Girl says yes, culture plays a big role. We were never trained to ask for sex as a woman, and I want us to actually look at that, to ask for sex, because now we're going to go into another debunking the myths. And what my Joy Girl has said is a major aspect of one of the myths we have to debunk with this whole sexual satisfaction interaction between a couple. Uncle Femi says religion and culture does, but we have to define our own marital culture to make our bedroom come alive. And I thoroughly believe in that. And one of the ways we're going to do that is by having this kind of conversations we're having today. I'm going to share a personal experience. Precious is quiet on the phone. It's because he's eating rice and dodo. And I'm smelling the dodo in there. It's not letting me concentrate on what I'm doing. But with permission to share, and I may have shared this before, I remember that when I first got married, the nights that I was going to lead worship on Sunday, he could never touch me. In fact, I was thinking, what type of sinful ask are you asking me? Because you are also in the choir. We went to rehearsal together. You know that I'm the one leading tomorrow, and you are touching. I mean, what? Like in my head, I'm like, how are you touching me on a night like this? So I don't even say no. It's like a violent or like a get thee behind me, devil. Because up until I realized it, I associated sex with sin for so many years in the early years of my marriage. And that's, it's part of it. So when we say we have to define our own marital culture and make our bedroom come alive, I understand we have to do that. But how do you even start to turn back this type of thinking that this is not a sin? Because now that it is my husband, I'm still thinking it is a sin. You understand? So, breaking bed is the word. Yes, Isaiah and Sherry have broken at least 5 beds in the city of Chicago. They are on their 6th bed right now. So I agree. That's a very good comment. And Teddy says, I agree with Toyin. The way sex was presented to us as young girls makes you feel that enjoying sex makes you promiscuous. Then Sinchi was saying is they call it sex education now in schools. And she was saying that it actually has a lot of positive effects when people are educated about sex. Female circumcision was a big one. I'm telling you, female circumcision is a big thing. And if you're not educated enough to understand that, then you don't understand why, sometimes, and I will say that later. Let me leave that one. I will say it later. Anyway, Mr. Adetoro was saying that they teach us in circumcision class. In premarital class, that they should fire us like gas cooker. But that even after they fire us from like gas cooker from 2 days ago, they will still get to the bed. Yeah. And the Iggy,
it's still good.
It is still Iggy, Dano.
It's wet.
They say it is still Iggy, Dano, that they are still pouring kerosene, that the firing, help them with grocery, help them with the dishes, help them with all of that they would do all that and they will still get, and How many times can you take no before it starts to affect your self-esteem? You know, that's also another issue that we have to deal with on the male side. And they're making fun of you when you said, we ask you, is it food? They say, but is it food? It is food, though. Oúnjẹ mi ni. Tell me about it. Tó bá débẹ̀, ó ń yóyàn. In fact, good pro. If it is, if you collect your right, and that's another thing that as women, you have to collect your right. I have girlfriends that don't have orgasms during sexual encounters. A sexual encounter without an orgasm is a waste of energy for the male and for the female.
Waste.
A waste of
Waste. Rubbish.
Not only do they just waste your time, and they just wasted the time you could have been sleeping. You tell what you can just do like this, but they now make you so mad you can't fall asleep. Like, what did I just do? I mean, what just happened here?
What was that?
Help me translate it. Sex without orgasm for either a male or a female. It's like a burglary person burglary your house. And a lot of men don't understand that. They don't even understand that. You know, so they don't understand that it even exists. They don't understand that it is supposed to be for every encounter. You give me mine and you get yours. You know, so there's so much to learn. And when we talk to the sex therapists, I hope that they will be able to help us with that area. I'm going to rest my case there. After they challenge you about it being food or not food. Oh, what did Kike? Oh, no, I can't miss that. So Mayor is saying that, Kike, you are the winner. I'm going to use that tonight. Kike must have said something, and I can't find what Kike said. Kike, what did you say? What did you say, please? I need to know. And the Mayor was talking about, guys, it's 3 minutes to 8. I think we're going to have this conversation until, what time do you think we should have this conversation until? 8:30, right? What do you think? 8:30. Yeah, we're gonna have this conversation until 8:30. And I know that you might look like we're deviating from our 1 hour, but I've always left a caveat that when we have a full panel, our 1 hour will not be possible, especially when it is a hot matter like this. And if I stop talking, we can listen more. So Kike said something, and Mayor's asking question about what about biological reasons for women. And I was saying in the beginning that we are talking about this outside of the medical reasons. Medical reasons we'll address in part 2. We're just saying we're not enjoying our sex life. We are not sick, we're not ill, but is there a way that it can be better? And what are the things contributing to it not being the way that it is? So that's the part 1 of the talk. Auntie Tade said that she has a headache every night. Auntie Tade, Imitrex, you cannot be new. It's like LGBT. My English is not coming out tonight. It's robbery. We have to put you on Topomax or amitriptyline. The headache has to go. At Fadrati. Somebody mentioning, that they told us when we were growing up that if your husband asks you, you're not allowed to say no. Some of these are also, we're getting into the myths now, and I think I want to write that down about the myths. So interesting. Kaite says, please, you can say no, Jare Kike. You want to kill us? This is not a matter of life or death. We are just talking about. All right. I just want to make sure that I did not leave anything behind. My joy girl said this is a serious issue and the church needs to address issues and have a plan to teach it. Isaiah says sex should not be prescribed like medicine 3 times a day. That one no good. Twice a week. 3 times a day, he says is good. Oh, twice a week is not good, but 3 times a day is good. TID. Okay. On the bed, you're shaking last, doing. Ekaite is saying, and I want us to talk about this. Now, sometimes we accuse the church that they are delving into matters that they don't have expertise in. Sometimes we talk about psychological things like mental health, depression, anxiety. Is like you go to your church, pastor prays for you. That it is the responsibility of the pastor to refer you to a counselor who can actually help you, or a doctor who can help you. So we are saying church should teach sex. I'm not sure about whether church is going to be the one to teach us about sex. But what are we really trying to say when we say that it should be addressed in church? I want to give somebody a chance to just say something about that, and if I still have an opinion after that, I'm gonna offer it. Let's go to Pastor Tayo. Tayo, when we're saying church should address it, they're not gonna teach us where to put our legs for sure. That's not their job.
We should all
But they
understand
try.
that our pastors are still men and women. They are not know-it-all. So what pastors should do is they should know their limits. For instance, if you want to if you go meet your pastor about like you're having a headache, you don't expect the pastor to start prescribing meds for you after praying for you. He or she will refer you to maybe to a pastor that is a medical doctor, or ask you to go see your doctor. So our pastors should also try to direct people to the right quarter. Like we are in a nation where we have a lot of resources that we can deploy. So most of the problems that is going on in families are not just what laying of lands will resolve, not even laying of legs. They need to actually speak to somebody who is specialized in that area. We should recognize that this is a problem. Men get moody, men get kind of violent when they're deprived. For instance, let me blow my cover. I do pick up fight with my wife because I know after resolving the fight, I get something. So
if I ever want to do LGBT.
because when we have to resolve things, no, we don't resolve things. Let's take off our clothes and real fight. Let's do it. Let's do the real fighting.
Fight to finish.
And that's why I enjoy the argument. That's why I enjoy the. Another thing is this. You just
maybe we should come back to you. Daily Motion family, well done. No? We are still here. We are still here.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Well, as you were saying, yes, hallelujah.
There's so much resources. There's so much resources in this country. There's so much resources online. There's so much resources that we can use to help families. Pastor will talk about Bible, pastor will talk about prayers, but it still does not end there. You still have to take the necessary step and apply the necessary dose. So
Thank
that is
you.
what I'm going to say.
Thank you so much. I want us to address the things in the chat, because the chat is a very sweet. In fact, I should leave you people here. I should go to the chat. These people will kill me. I need to show. These people want to kill me. They want to kill me. Hey. So this is great.
I just saw him now.
Thank you so much for that. I think that as we talk about it being addressed on a cultural level and on a religious level, is maybe not training us to believe the things that we were made to believe about sex. I don't know that your pastor will tell you, oh, sex is very good, I mean, the pastor that preaches that once, they will say, this is a pastor on cutting edge. The next week, if he preaches again, they say, kí ló ṣe pastor yìí, gbogbo Revelation to January to Genesis, this is the only topic that you want to be preaching. What type of pastor is this? But I think it's in the redirecting how we train our children, male and female, about sexual interactions when it becomes the appropriate time for them in their relationship, in their marital relationship, and stuff like that. Even if they are not going to have premarital sex, to be able to have the discussion. Mr. Aditoro mentioned something about a mismatched sexual appetite. Like, we're not even able to ask people, like, what do you think about, how many times do you think people should be doing this, Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it once a year? Is it once a month? Because some people are in a relationship and it's not a matter of them having problems. It's just a matter that the appetites are mismatched. Somebody thinks 7 days a week is what it is. Somebody thinks once a week is okay, So that those conversations also, as we coach our young adults that are going into a marital relationship, that we should be brave enough to address this kind of things. I'm going to go to the chats, because if I say you are sleeping in the garage, by the way, Pastor Time. One garage, and then Mr. Dr. Ogunbayo, I mean, this is great. Dr. Ogunbayo, thank you so much. Dr. Ogunbaya says, sometimes I don't necessarily agree. Sometimes the male or female just wants to satisfy the other person. And I think that this is also a thing that, should be a trend in relationships. For some women, they want to go all the way, and for some men, they want to go all the way. And so for couples, sometimes it's a give and take. And quand tu es en fait dubule je kin tie kon tie mo kon fẹ́ kon ìwọ kon dubule mo kon fẹ́ I just want to, so I think for women, I'm not going to be shy about this. For women, sometimes we engage in sexual activity and the guy has an orgasm and we don't. We're used to the one-sided pleasure. You understand? For men, it is not a thing. In their head, they're like, I have not finished. Like, are you kidding? Like, this cannot end. Like, I haven't finished. So for men, the end result is usually an orgasm and stuff like that. So you will see some women, and if you are a pastor, please, God forgive you and God forgive me too, because we're all sinners. Some women just want to pleasure their husband and they give them oral sex, and it's a one-sided affair, and it happens and they're gone and everybody is happy. It's like, oh, I can't comply with the full thing tonight, but I'll ease you up, and that happens, So, but for men, you don't understand that sometimes it's okay to just, help the girl. You don't want anything. I don't want anything from you. See finance, you understand? So, Dr. Ogunbayo, thank you so much. So, but once they do that for you now, tomorrow you are in trouble. Because now you have to pay back. And told you, they say you are doing they are using this thing as a weapon. No weapon. Doctor, no weapon formed against you shall prosper.
Hallelujah.
In the mighty name of, you cannot be using anything as a weapon here. All right, let's debunk the myths of those things that we've been made to understand. Let's just come up with them. I want to go to Mr. Aditoro first. What are some of the myths that we need to? We'll say what the myth is, and we'll say, is this true or not true according to you? I especially want Mr. Aditoro to address the fact of, for example, we would say that a woman who is sexually versed, a woman that knows what she's doing in the bedroom, I've had people say, I've had people stop women within a sexual encounter and ask them, where did you learn that?
Where did you learn it?
Yeah. So sometimes being versed in sexual relations for a woman is seen as promiscuity. Mr. Aditoro, is this a myth or help us? Help.
That's to address that. I think we need to take a poll from our audience. I think I can guarantee you 95% of men will actually will prefer someone that is not promiscuous, but very vast in terms of the one that will initiate, the one that is more organic, the one that will show more pleasurable position, if I may.
You
But
may,
it will
you may,
be in
sir.
the upper room, right? Yeah, but it will be in
Thank
the upper room. But they want you to be dirty in the upper room. But when we get outside, you'll be, you not that you will be
Be a
pretending, but at
lady.
least it's not something that you'll
You
be
be a
showing
So
lady.
my
outside, right?
Jose Azun, yeah.
You'll be a lady. You'll be a lady. 95%, if not 100, 95%, if not 100, will prefer such woman.
All right, I want to take a poll because there's a poll suggestion. If you are a man on this forum and you are listening, would you prefer? And one of our giveaways today is going to this question. We have a worship concert ticket as a giveaway for asking a question about sex. This is only on Daily Motion. This can happen. I tell you, thank you so much. So, is it true that you actually prefer females to be well versed in sexual encounters? Because a lot of us, they tell us, what we believe that if we move too much, they will think that we're just, wow, you're so out there. Is this true? For if you're a male on the forum, I would really appreciate your input on that. but I was saying, it doesn't ask. You have asked what? You want free ticket? You will fly to Chicago to come and watch this thing. Please answer that. I'm gonna go to Faye. Faye, go ahead and answer the question about this myth. Did you think that this was a thing? You think that they have taught us as women that when we are well versed sexually and with both positioning and experience, that it is equal to promiscuity?
I've heard that, but I also want to defer back to what Uncle Femi said, where it is like you defining what your marital bedroom is going to look like, right? A lot of it is communication, because at some point we need to talk about what we've both learned, right? Husband and wife. What have we both learned coming into this marriage regarding sex? What are your thoughts about it? And how can we come to some kind of joint decision making that, okay, how are we going to be happy with this? If it is that I don't know enough, you know enough, let's communicate. What does happiness look like to you in the bedroom? Right? What does that mean to you? Does that mean is every day? It is, twice a day, 3 times on Sunday? What does that mean to you? And what are you going to need for this to happen? Right? Also, like we said, for men, they're eager to hit completion. Women want to hit orgasm too. We want to reach the upper room and go beyond self. So how can I help you understand that, bruh, what you did and thought you took me to the upper room? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
need you to put a little bit of more work into it, and then I'll let you know when I get there. And then let's try that again tomorrow also. Because women love orgasm. There's nothing that is inherent in a woman that says, oh, I don't enjoy the sensation, or I don't want to have sex, I don't want to be pleasured. We love to be pleasured. We do. So if you do it and you do it well, we will work with you to make sure it happens often.
I like that. Thank you. That takes me to another myth, and I'm going to ask Toyin to answer this. There's this myth that it is only men that enjoy sex and that women don't want sex. I really like the comment from Ngozi. Ngozi, hi Ngozi, beautiful lady. She said that we women also get angry, resentful, and frustrated when our partners withhold sex and intimacy from us. It is not one-sided. She also said if there is oral sex within the confines of your relationship, it should be both ways. And I do know of those experiences where maybe the girl thinks that the guy can go down on her, but she can't do that. I can't do that. Or the guy thinks it's all right for the girl to give him a good time with oral sex, but I can't go there. So it's true. On the face of this, there's nothing. You understand? So she's saying that if this is supposed to be happening, then if it is something that you have defined as normal within your relationship, it should be happening both ways. So Tony, there's this myth that women, we don't like sex, we don't enjoy it, we're always saying no. Is this true? Or do you think this is not true? And then I'm going to ask Pastor Tayo that same question.
I don't think it's true. I think it has to do with I think we want. Well, I'm not. It's hard to speak for everybody, but I'm gonna say we want romance before you say, yeah, just drop it, let's go. No, you have to kind of start early, like you were saying, the gas cooker kind of thing. You need to know your partner. Please don't wake me up in the morning and say let's go. That's not my thing. I do not want to be waking up first thing in the morning. I say, Lord Jesus, who are you thinking about all night? No, I would rather go. Let's have a good time tonight so we can sleep peacefully and wake up and then go about our day. When I wake up, I gotta do my meditation. I have to do my devotional. That's not the first thing that I want to do in the morning. So understanding each other and knowing. And I also understand. Well, if I didn't give it up last night, I know something might happen in the morning. Okay, you do what you got to do. It's not my thing, but being kind and being considerate, it has to do with that as well. But we do enjoy it. Women enjoy sex. If I can say that, women enjoy sex. It's all about how you approach the advances that you make towards your partner. You cannot just come and washing dishes and you just slap the ball. You might love tap it. You get a little love tap. But with the right intentions and all of that. If your wife likes flowers, buy her flowers. If it is rice she likes, buy her rice.
Whatever sets the mood.
Whatever gets her to the point. Whatever gets her there. Because that's important as well. You might be the kind of like, okay, well, drop it, let's go. If she's not the type of drop it, let's go, hold her hand, watch a movie, rub her back, maybe give her a massage, and then you might get a happy ending. You get what I'm saying? At
Thank
the end of it.
Thank you.
You have to understand what is going to get you there.
I love it. So what Tony has said is that you have to communicate about the things that your partner desires, or your female partner desires, to get her in the right mood where you will find out that she actually enjoys sex. For some people, they need the whole 9 yards of foreplay to get there. For some people, sometimes they just want to, they say, precious, I don't need any, don't no get, so no, there are times when you just want a quickie, so if your woman, but you have to communicate to be able to get to that point where your woman is able to tell you that, or your man is able to say, no, it's not every time we are going to do 100% foreplay before we get to the honey. Sometimes let's do 50, sometimes let's do 60. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that I'll have Pastor Tayo talk about that before. The same question, Pastor Tayo. From a man's perspective, do you think that we do not enjoy sex? But I want to answer my joy gay. Say, hey, Christian, is it? Where is your question? If not because you are the leader of this group, I would have fired you. But I cannot fire you. She said, "Now, wow, is it biblical for Christians to do oral sex?" Please, can you pull the scripture that says oral sex is wrong from the Bible? And I'm very open. I mean, we're all very open. This is a learning forum, actually. Sons of Solomon say, well, thou shalt not shori, or thou shalt not gori.
it uses a figure of speech.
No, she did not.
What?
Yeah.
Please, can we Google
Actually,
it?
Yes, she
Can we Google it,
Proverbs.
please? Let's Google it.
Fine.
What does it say?
Says you should drink water from your own well.
Aha!
Yeah, that one, yeah. Figure of speech.
Where's the well?
interpretation.
So, drink water from your own well. Is that for or against what we are talking about?
I know, I'm just-
And you are just saying your
I'm
own.
just throwing it out there.
You should drink water from your well. My jungle, I do not know any. I do not know any scripture. I don't know Bible anyway. So, mine is not. It's not a valid statement, but I don't know of any scripture that says that we're not allowed to have oral sex. I don't have anything against oral sex. I'm very, very happy to tell you that I have totally zero problems with oral sex. I am a Christian woman. I was raised as a Nigerian girl. I have come to find out that a lot of things that we have fed ourselves, let's just say we fed ourselves, they didn't feed us, is part of the problems that we are having within a sexual relationship. Because there are so many ways that you can have sex. It is up to the couple to determine what is acceptable in their relationship. If within your relationship, this is a way for you to define the culture, like Uncle Femi said, in your marriage, then it is acceptable within your marriage for that to happen. Because you have to think about it. How many ways can you fry a fish? The same way. Láti ìgbà tá a ti wà lọ́mọdé àti bímọ bíi mẹ́ta, the same way. After a while, you have to spice it up with some things, because it's like ibi náà la ṣì wà láti
Put
join.
it in the air fryer.
Kàkẹ́lá yìí ń gùn.
Make it.
Why you latter?
I'm so sorry. Do you understand? So, that's my thought. Tyra, what from the male perspective, do you think we do not enjoy it?
I think this also has to do with what we've been talking about from the beginning. Communication, knowing ourselves. Most of the things you find out when you get married, you should have known even before you get into it and ask yourself, can I really deal with this? Like, for me, maybe I sleep early except I want to do some studies or pray. I do get into bed around 9, 10, while my wife could be awake till 2. And by 6, when I try to make any move, I was like,
Ekpe.
Tell me what is the problem?
Why are you like this? Yemi?
Ignore my daru.
I'm sorry.
And again, I've tried this. Honestly, I've tried this several times. I will arrange myself. No, okay, wait patiently, and that's when she will start doing one thing or the other, going from one. And after I've already lit up the gas cooker, 3 days ago.
I cannot.
Come here, man.
Okay.
Woman.
She will not tell me that when I'm now trying to, I'm about Oni. You almost
Alpha.
not at 2 a.m. So,
That is also communication.
Go-
Maybe
So,
it's part of
like I
communication.
said, communication,
Sha.
and
Yeah,
also we we need to actually find a conception and say, okay, maybe this time this is not going to work for everybody. But like Uncle Femi said and Feyi, whatever works for your bedroom, find it. And deploy for me, one of the things that is that the way you want to go? Then I will start an argument.
And then
That will resolve everything.
Yeah, dog bottle.
and then they call it and then they call it make-up sex. Thank you so much. We are I'm telling you, I have
that has worked for me until maybe it will stop working now.
You find another
That's
mechanism.
how the secret is out.
Until today.
If Amy will never fight you again now, you're in trouble.
So
If you say, can you go to Anikoma Binu? Don't
so now to address the point that you've raised, of course, every body, a man or woman who want to have enjoy sex. I'm yet to find somebody who does not enjoy it, except you have spiritual and
medical outside
medical
of. Oh no, yeah.
which is understandable. But
Maybe if you have Evan husband.
So the question now
everyone-
is, if that is true, then why aren't we having more sex?
Thank you so much. That's a good question. We are going to leave here in 5 minutes.
do you want me
For
to-
the answer to that question, please come back same time next time. No, I'm kidding. We will have other parts of this. We will have other parts of this discussion. But why are we? One of the reasons why we are not having, and I can only speak from a woman's standpoint. Before I decided to have a very, very insightful look into my sexual experience, you can't sell it to me for. In fact, if you give me 100 million, I will say don't worry, Dimu, because I did not understand. If a child sees honey and you give them bean cake, they will throw away the bean cake, because I did not understand it until we started having communications about what I enjoy, what you enjoy, and I was able to make myself clear that, for the woman, the same end result that you want is also the same end result that you want. So you have to decide, do you want to give me mine before you get yours? Or do you want to get yours and then stay awake to give me mine? Because sometimes you will promise me later, and then, but by the time you get yours, it's like, I don't know the English of that, So, and I think that's one of the things that the women, while you are angry, 30 seconds later, the man is sleeping. Robber.
I'm snoring.
Anyway, so it took communication, it took conversations, it took what is the desired end result. And if you are a male on this panel, I'm so sorry I'm singling you out. I mean, in the chats and on this cast, I think that it is necessary, because most of the time when we schedule a pastor, it is usually the male that will say, I'm not getting enough. There are some women that are saying I'm not getting enough. There are some, I'm telling you. And and when I see that, I am so excited, because I know that girl has not been robbed of her sense of sexuality like a lot of us have been. So it's in a healthy way. Now, do we say that when we talk with the therapists, we talk about sex addiction? It is a thing. Sex addiction is a thing. And for some people, you will never be able to satisfy them. So don't go and die before your children grow up. If there is an addiction, it needs to be dealt with. We'll talk about that in part 2. But it takes a concerted effort to teach, to communicate, and to be able to say, my joy girl, you were saying I was speaking too much Yoruba. I'm sorry. When the matter is hot, my English run away. That's why. So, and she was saying that she was just posing a question, that she didn't say that oral sex is wrong. I read that comment, my joy girl. But the thing is that to be able to understand, my joy girl had mentioned that almost like they taught us that if you asked for sex, that you're a prostitute, basically. For females to be able to get the confidence of their male partners, that to ask for sex is not bad. For females to get the confidence of their partners that if you suddenly turn your back to me, I'm not going to ask you, when did you start that? You understand? That you're able to, try new positions. I'm telling you the truth, because the children out there nowadays, they don't do missionary again, no. You people, be careful. Yeah. What is outside now? Missionary is not even one of the options. So if you are still a missionary, you are going to need to go to school. So to have those open conversations, and for the men to be able to understand that the end result you want is the end result I want. Trust me. And Dr. Tade is saying the same thing. Even my hair is standing up because of this sexual matter. It's a lie. Dr. Tade said if you touch a woman in the right spot, she can enjoy sex. Learn your wife's G spot, and you may get it every day. I'm telling you, you need, if we are saying no, it means we're not enjoying it. If we're not enjoying it, we're not saying it's your fault. We're saying it's our fault. We don't know what works for both of us. So good conversations, good conversation. Ngozi says we should address.
Can I just add one more thing?
We can add it, but I want to answer Ngozi about spontaneity and communication and stuff like that. Welcome to part 2, because we really do have to get out of here at 8:30, and it's 8:30. My goodness, there's a lot of comments. So, Faye, you go ahead and say something, and then I'll close us out.
You know, one thing that I read somewhere that I think is really true is that the way women's brains work is, think about your Chrome, you know, where we have so many different tabs open consistently. We're thinking about so many different things consecutively. Unlike men, and maybe I'm generalizing a little bit, who are able to, if you say, let's go, they're able to shut down all those tabs. Like, okay, let's go. Women literally have to go in and shut down each thought tab. Okay, did I finish that? Click. Did I finish that? Click. So it takes us time to get through all our thoughts, to bring down all those tabs and say, okay, now, aramiti walono, let's go. Men flip a switch and they're ready to go. So I think it's important that we know each other well enough to say, okay, let me start working on shutting down her tabs early enough so that by the time my flip switch, you know, my switch flips, we're on the same page.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really have enjoyed this conversation, and for sure, Daily Motion family, please let's ask them on air so that it can be recorded. Are you willing to come back for another talk on this show? Please say yes or no, because there is a lot of questions here, and we are going to record whether.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do that. If only you and I are even here, I'm telling you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So everybody, because we're talking, Ngozi asked a question about spontaneity and communication. She also said something about, sex toys and stuff like that. Is that something that we should do? Precious is asking a question, and Olayemi, you actually mentioned my name, so I think the question is for me. Olayemi, is it good to talk dirty when doing it? It is very good. It is a good thing. Yes. Not just dirty for no reason, but dirty, give me what I want. That time. Speak your mind.
Go slow, babe. Go slow, babe.
Free your mind, the rest will follow. Daily Motion family. I wish I could read all of this. It's best. My joy girl said it's best for women to get theirs first. Yeah, because the men, they fall asleep. The streets are not smiling. Yeah, the streets are not smiling. Ngozi, open conversation without judgment is best. The streets are not smiling. The children of nowadays should not worry. Arthritis will eventually but if before arthritis come, they will have carried your man away. Hey, please. I'm telling you, we have had wonderful time here. We will come back next week. We're coming back. In 2 weeks, we're coming back for financial wellness. Okay, we're not coming back with part 2 next week. As our sexual life is thriving, as people of faith, we already caught the train of the physical health being well. a long time ago, and they're telling us don't eat eba at night, don't eat rice, and limit your carbohydrates. We caught that train. We are now catching this sexual wellness train. In 2 weeks, we're going to jump on the financial wellness train. We come to this country as immigrants trying to make ends meet. But then when we actually do have some money, now we are not struggling anymore. We have no idea what to do with the money. Ijebu people like me, I put it under my bed. As long as I can see it, I'm like, my life is good. There is so much errands you can send your money on. We're going to talk about investments. We're going to talk about all manner of things. Wide topic, but we will have 2 parts of that topic as well, because we couldn't possibly complete all of that in 1 week. Ngozi says, don't neglect the mental and emotional health. Actually, for the next 1 minute, I want people to type, what questions would you want us to ask the therapist when she comes, or our panel when we come? Go ahead and put it in the chats right now while our guests will say goodnight. Uncle Dio, Omotayo. Look at me, speaking English. Dr. Faye, at home with Toy. You blew my mind. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I hope that somebody has learned even just one thing tonight. I knew that we're not giving answers this week. We're just raising the issues, and we need to do that. So go ahead and, within your families, start the conversation. Kí ló tiẹ̀ like? Ọrùn ló ti ń rìn ẹ́ ni, àbí where is your sensitive spot? Just start the conversation. What is your ideal encounter? What is your ideal prep? What are the things? Why do you say no when you say no? Is it because of the quality of the relationship and you can't get past that? And if that's the case, then we need to work on the relationship, because it's not automatic. So let's start asking the question. Uncle Femi, about the financial wellness, right? That Bitcoins or not. Yeah. My joke said, "Yemi ẹ má pa mí o, owó rọ́ọ̀bù tí wọ́n má kàn mí níbàdí, kí n tó délé." Let's go home, let's go home. DM fam, I love you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for being so real on this chat tonight. God bless.